Right. So what we're talking about today is graphing parabolas. All right. Today's date 11/1/17. Okay. Now what we know about parabolas is that they're the smiley faces or the frowny faces, right? Depending on how they are. Okay. So if I take a look at example 1, y equals 2x squared minus 5x plus minus 3. That is in standard form. Okay. That's in standard form. So if we look at our sheet, because this is really going to help you a lot. So if I look at our sheet, I've got parabolas. I've got vertex form. It doesn't look like this one. It looks like standard form, right? Where A, B, and C are numbers in this case. A, B, and C are my 2, my negative 5, my 3. So I know my A is 2, my B is negative 5, and my C is negative 3. Okay? A, B, and C. A is 2, B is negative 5, and C is negative 3. Okay, so how do I do this? Well, first of all, it talks about the line of symmetry. Well, I've got my special notes. I go to standard form, and then it talks about the line of symmetry. Okay, that's this x equals negative b over 2a. Okay, that will be our line of symmetry. Okay, so we've got a little formula. Okay, so for our line of symmetry, we have a little formula, x equals negative b over 2a. Okay, it's always the formula for the line of symmetry when it's in this form. Okay, the 2 is part of the formula. Okay, so if I want to find the line of symmetry for this equation, I'm going to go, all right, negative 5, because it's a negative b. Okay, it's a negative b, so it's a negative 5 over 2 times a, which is 2. Okay. So I'm just going to simplify that, and I get a positive 5 over 4, or the line of symmetry is equal to 1.25. And if you're not sure, you can just use a calculator, right? Okay, go clear. Just what is 5 divided by 4, and sure enough, 1.25. Okay? So that's the line of symmetry. That's the line we're going to graph. That's the line that goes right down the middle of the parabola, right? It cuts it in half. It's our line of symmetry, okay? So I'm going to circle that. I'm going to come back to it, okay? I'm going to circle that. So when I'm ready to graph it, I'm going to gather all of these things. I'm going to do my dots, my symmetry, and I'm going to graph it in the end, okay? Thumbs up on line of symmetry. Okay, now the vertex. Again, if I look at our little sheet, the vertex is a point, some x, y, right? And so it says negative b over 2a, comma, something, because we know, Madison, Shayla, we know that the vertex is on the line of symmetry, right?
Yes.
So we know the x value of the vertex has to be that 1.25 something, right? Something. So I know it's 1.2 something. If I look at my little notes, it says plug in for y answer. So I'm going to take this and plug it in. So I'm actually going to plug in my 1.25 into my equation. So we'll go, all right, I can do that. I'm going to go y equals 2 times my 1.25 squared minus 5 times my 1.25 minus 3, and I'm going to use a calculator. Certainly, I do not need to do this by hand. Let the calculator do the work for me. So if I just simply go 2 parentheses 1.25 squared minus 5 parentheses 1.25 subtract 3, I get an answer, negative 6.125. Okay, that's the y coordinate of the vertex. So I have a negative 6.125. Okay, I'm going to circle that. That's my vertex, which would be my bottom point, right? Does that make sense? I get my smiley face, bottom point. Okay. All right, now I got to find the y-intercept. So I look at my notes for the y-intercept. Y-intercept. Okay, now I'm going to use my notes, right? So if I'm looking for the y-intercept, my notes say, let's see. Y-intercept, it says let x equal 0. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 0. I'm going to let x equal 0, and I'm going to get it, all right? So I'm going to go and plug in 0. I'm going to have y equals, let's see, I'm going to have a 2 times 0 squared minus 5 times 0 minus 3. I already knew it was negative 3, right? Yeah, Brooks?
So couldn't you just say for another rule it just equals whatever the
Check it out. See how smart you are? There it is, right? It's 0 comma c, isn't it? Yep, exactly. It will always be 0 comma c, right? And we're going to show that because 0, 0, negative 3, right? Y equals negative 3. And of course, it's a point. X was 0, right? X was 0, and Y was negative 3. Okay, Brooks was totally right. It's always going to be the constant, okay? I'm going to circle that. I'm going to graph that, okay? How am I doing? Thumbs up? No? Okay. Do you want me to let you catch up? Okay. You tell me when you're ready.
Well, I'm ready.
Okay, and again, I'm recording this, so if you want to go back and look at it, you can, all right? So, X-intercepts. So, let's see what my notes say. Okay, it says X-intercepts, let Y equal 0, solve, factor. I know how to factor, right? So, X-intercepts. So, we'll let Y equal 0, so we have 0 equals, let's see, a 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. And it does factor. It really does. We're going to have to use the double smiley thing, but it really will factor. So I'm going to go 0 equals parentheses, 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 right? Because it will factor. It really will. And the only way I can get a 2x squared is with a 2x and an x, right? And the multiples of 3 are going to be 3 and 1, but I got to put them in the right place. I'll put the 3 here and the 1 here, because I know if I check my double smiley, 6, 1, 6, 1. So if I make this a negative 6 and a positive 1, negative 6, see the negative 6? Negative 6, positive 1, we should make a negative 5. Now we're not done, right? Because just like our warm-up, we factored it, but we still have to solve it, right? So we've got our mini equations, right? It's like when the 100 did, right? Got our mini equations, we just have to finish it up. So we're going to go, all right, 0 equals 2x plus 1, and 0 equals x minus 3. And then I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to do minus 1, then I'll divide by 2. So I'll get negative 1/2, plus 3, negative 3. So my x-intercepts are where y is 0. So as a point, I'm going to have x-intercepts at negative 1/2, 0, and at 3, 0. And I'm going to circle those. I'm going to come back and graph. Okay, now I have all of the important information that I need. So now I'm just going to get my graph, bring it down, and I'm going to graph what I know. Okay, so right off the bat, first thing I saw that I have to graph is this thing called the line of symmetry, right? Which is the line that goes right down the middle, right? It's that line that cuts in half. So at 1.25, I'm going to estimate where it is. It goes kind of like this. Here's my line of symmetry, right? Right down the middle. There's my line of symmetry at x equals 1.25. Okay, how's that? And it is the line that goes right through the middle of the parabola. Okay, then what else? Well, I've got a vertex. My vertex is at 1.25, negative 6.125, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, went off my paper a little bit, but I can guesstimate. How's that if I guesstimate right about there? Yeah. Guesstimate is a guess with some estimation. Or an estimation with some guess. Either way. Now, what else do I have? I've got a y-intercept at 0, negative 3. Well, 1, 2, 3. There's my y-intercept. And I have two x-intercepts, negative 1/2, 0, and 3, 0. 1, 2, 3, okay? I have enough information now, I really do. And remember, I want to draw my parabola a little bit curvy. It's not a V. It's not a V. So I'm going to try and make it a little bit curvy, and it looks a little bit like that. That's good enough for what we need, okay? All right, that's the first example. Not too bad. Not too bad. With this sheet, right? You can do this on Friday, right? This sheet, you're going to be okay on Friday, okay? Okay, ready to turn the page and do the other one? Jane, I'll wait for you. All right, I'll wait for you guys. Okay, turn the page. All right, now, example 2. So, when it's in what we call vertex form, it's actually easier. When it's in this form, it's actually easier because the vertex is right there. Here's the vertex, -1, 5. Remember, it's the opposite. Remember, it's the opposite of that one. And again, if we're not sure, we can use our sheet that I just gave you, right? So here it is, vertex form, right? And with the negative, it means opposite, right? It means opposite. And if I look at my notes, it says the vertex is just HK. It's just these two numbers. So I like that. There's no work to be done. I mean, the vertex is, boom, straight to -1, 5. I just got it from its form. It's in the vertex form, so we just gathered. Huh? Isn't that easy? So there's my vertex. Now the line of symmetry, I kind of skipped, but I do know that the line of symmetry goes to the vertex. The line of symmetry goes to the vertex, so it's got to go through it, -1. So my line of symmetry is just x equals -1, because it has to go through the vertex, right? Circle that. I'm going to graph that too. How am I doing? Okay, thanks, Luis. So then the y-intercept. Let's see, my notes say y-intercept, let x equal 0, right? It says let equal 0 and solve, so I'm going to go, okay, the y-intercept, I'll do the y-intercept here. Y-intercept, I'll do my work down here. So I'm going to go, all right, I say y equals -2 times 0 plus 1 squared plus 5, right? Because my note said let x equal 0. And I'm just going to simplify it. Okay, so let x equals 0. So I've got y equals -2 times 1 plus 5, right? 1 squared, right? 1 squared's 1 times -2. So I really get a -2 plus 5, right? Which is 3. So I have a y-intercept at 0, because we let x equal 0, at 0, 3. Okay, how's that looking? Now, the x-intercept, let's see what it says. So the x-intercept says let y equal 0. Oh, let y equal 0 and solve. Okay, so I'm going to let y equal 0 and solve. So I'm going to go, okay, I can do that. So, all right, 0 equals -2 times x plus 1 squared plus 5. And I'm probably going to have two answers, right? Most of the time with x-intercepts, I usually have two answers, right? So let's see what I get. So to solve, I'm going to bring over the 5. So I'm going to go -5 minus 5. Right? I just went -5 minus 5. Divide by -2. And a negative divided by negative is a positive. So I get 2.5 equals x plus 1 squared. And whenever I solve an equation, I do the opposite to undo it, right? Got to do the opposite. So the opposite square is not a circle, but it's a square root, right? Square root, that's right. Nice job, Jaden. Square root, right? So in this case, since I need an answer, I'm going to use my calculator because there is no square root of 22.5 that I know. I'm going to have to actually use my calculator because I need an answer, right? So, okay, what is, you just check it out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and what is the square root? Square root of 2.5, and I get an answer of, about 1.6. I always round to the nearest tenth because I'm graphing it. That's the best I can do, 1.6, right? So I get 1.6 equals x plus 1. But wait a minute. There should be two answers, shouldn't there? So Ashton says plus or minus 1.6, right? Plus or minus. So now, again, we're going to have two little mini equations, right? One mini equation is going to be 1.6 equals x plus 1. And negative 1.6 equals x plus 1. Those are my mini equations, right? And solve. Minus 1, I get a 0.6 equals x. Minus 1, I get a negative 2.6 equals x. So Honestly, I am just about done. So then, let's see, my X-intercepts are going to be at 0.60 and negative 2.60. Circle that. So now I'm ready to graph it. I've got everything I need up there. I'm going to put it all together, point by point, dot by dot. Maddie, can you see that? You good? Okay, I'll wait for you. I will. So I've got X-intercepts, Y-intercepts. I've got my vertex, got my line of symmetry. All I got to do is just put it all together, right? Okay. So give me thumbs up when you're ready for me to do my graphing. Okay. Kai's ready. Ready. Okay. Okay, you guys ready? All right. Maddie, you ready? Okay, so let's do it. So negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Right. I've got a line of symmetry, goes right through the middle of that, right? At x equals 1, or negative 1, right? Right? Criminy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you very much. Good thing I have a lot of white out, huh? Blackout works too, huh? I've got a y-intercept at 0, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, right? And I've got x-intercepts at 0.6, about there, 0, and negative 2.6, about there. I really actually do have one more point right there if you want to do a little symmetry thing. I've got another point right there, right? Do a little symmetry, a little reflection. And there's my parabola, right? So what makes Friday's quiz most difficult for kids is this.